We are the West Aurora Broadcasting Club, and today we are going to be interviewing Mr. Chapin, and our first interviewer is Marla.
Thank you. So, Mr. Mike Chapin, I understand that you work for the Beacon News, am I correct?
I used to work for the Beacon News, but I now work for the school district, and I write stories and take pictures that do get into the Beacon News.
Since you work for the District 129, did you actually come to West Aurora for academic schools?
I came here to get a master's degree in teaching in English, high school English, and I ended up working for the school district in community relations.
What's the most craziest story you've ever covered about West Aurora?
The craziest story? I can't think of the craziest story. I'm trying to think. There are some very crazy stories that I kept out of the newspaper.
Name 5.
Stories that maybe involved some misbehavior of the students and that sort of thing, or maybe stories that would not be particularly understood by the public.
Do you do like West Aurora, just West Aurora, or do you do all of the schools around this district?
I just do West Aurora schools, but that includes all the elementary and middle schools that feed into West High.
So last year, since this school was the first school ever to direct the play Rent School Edition, did you cover that in the newspaper?
My job was to make sure that the newspapers and the magazines and the TV shows, news programs knew about Rent and knew about the fact that we were the first high school in the United States to put that production on. And one of the things that I'm proud of is getting Time magazine interested in covering the fact that we were putting on Rent. And so as a result of my work, we had a reporter from Time magazine come to the Friday production, and we had a Time magazine photographer fly out from New York and shoot the Friday production. And West High turned out to be the lead in the magazine article, which was on high school musicals. And the web edition, which you can still go to, features a picture of the West High production as the dominant #1 photo. So I'm very proud of that because it gave us national exposure. Time magazine is read all over the world, and West High was featured in that particular week. It was about 2 or 3 weeks after the production. The year before, the West High kids put on Miss Saigon, and that production also received national attention, and we had a story that got into USA Weekend, and it was rated one of the top 5 musicals that year in the United States on a high school level. So probably the pinnacle of me trying to get stories placed in the paper or in the media is to get national attention, and we were able to do that with Rent.
So do you have to have your stories approved to get them in the newspaper, or you can put them in yourself?
No, the newspapers have to like it. It has to fit what they consider to be news. So I have a newspaper background, and part of what I do is called media relations. it's understanding the media, understanding what kind of stories and pictures they're looking for, and then getting those out of our school district and getting them to the papers.
Since you work for West Aurora High School, what's your opinion for this fine establishment?
I think it's the finest high school in the United States. I think one of the reasons I believe that is that I think West High is what America aspires to be, but doesn't think it can be in terms of diversity and how well the diverse student body works in this school, how successful it is. Hi, Steph.
Hello. So, how did you get started in this job?
I started when I was about your age, writing stories and taking pictures for student newspapers. And I ended up getting a degree in journalism, and then went on to work in the newspaper business and in the public relations business. So the job I have now is community relations, where we work with the public, and I also work with the media. So I have a lot of bosses. I have about 23,000 people who, households I consider my boss in the school district, and then I have my bosses, the editors of the various media, and then I have bosses downtown in the school district. So.
How long have you been with District 129?
I've been here 5 years.
So, have you met many interesting people while you've been here?
Besides you?
Yeah.
Yes, I have. You guys are really fortunate to have many really wonderful teachers at all levels who are very, very special. And I'm thinking of this fellow, Mr. Williams. I think he's an English teacher here. And he's a really extraordinary guy. If you get a chance to meet him because he's got ideas to take things beyond where they are now, and really fascinating character.
So what do you think about the new broadcasting club at West High?
I'm very impressed because I think in very short order they are going to be producing some exciting broadcasts. I'm not sure what form yet, but I think they'll be sharing those with the students and the community at some point, even this year. And it's going to add, for me, it's going to be good because it'll be a whole nother avenue where people can get to know the wonderful things going on in the high school.
Do you have a plan to help the broadcasting club, and if so, how?
Why, do you guys need help?
Well, do you have is there anything that you guys are the district is gonna do to help out with the club?
Well, in my job, we already do broadcasting. And what I'm hoping is that the broadcasting club will really take over from the community relations people, the adults. So, for example, we've been doing live video broadcasts for 3 years now of basketball and football games. And we'd like to expand that and do more sports in the future. Well, we also, if it happens, we would also like to see the students actually produce those broadcasts